Big East Media Day has now come and gone here at Madison Square Garden, and for the UConn men's basketball team, there's plenty to look forward to. The UConn football team hired Jim Mora Jr. as their next head coach on Thursday, but still in the midst of their season, there was plenty of work to be done as they traveled down to Death Valley to take on the perennial power Clemson Tigers. Pork chop, poppers, a glue guy, the wrench, whatever you call him, Isaiah Whaley was a stud last year. Coming off a brutal loss to Xavier in double overtime in the Charleston Classic semifinals, UConn men's basketball had one more opportunity, the third-place game against Miami. The big news of the summer was UConn's move back home to the Big East. Can you bring me through a bit of that process? Fans are back in the stands. We know you love to play off the fans. What are some of the favorite places you're looking to play at this year? Ryan, what an exciting night, one of the most anticipated matchups in recent years, especially because of the history that these two teams have. The last time UConn and Notre Dame played, it was down in South Bend, Indiana, and you were there. Can you give me your best impression of Coach Hurley, or one sort of catchphrase that he says all the time?
It's been 10 long days without UConn men's basketball, but today, finally, Dan Hurley's squad is back in action as they take on Seton Hall.
The UConn football team entered Bloomington, Indiana with high hopes after a rejuvenating start to their season. Fours are wild right now for the UConn men's basketball team. Yesterday, it was four-star guard Stephon Castle committing to the Huskies. Today, it was number 4, Tyrese Martin, and number 44, Andre Jackson, leading the Huskies to a win as they'll head to the battle for Atlantis with a 4-0 record. Months ago, fans circled February 3rd on their calendars, a date when number 3 Oregon and Wooden award-winning senior Sabrina Ionescu would come to Stores to take on the number 4 Huskies. While just one spot in the rankings separated the two Final Four teams from a year ago, the Ducks were head and shoulders above the Huskies. Oregon came out of the gates with an all-out blitz, showing no signs of nerves in front of a sold-out Gamble crowd. Their high-octane offense was as impressive as advertised.
They came in here and did something that very few people, have been able to do, and physically we couldn't match up with them tonight.
The second quarter was much of the same. In fact, the Ducks put up another 22. They moved the ball with ease through a porous UConn defense, tallying 14 assists on 19 made shots. Ruthie Hebard scored 15 in the first half alone. UConn hit some threes, but they didn't help cut into the deficit as Oregon led 44-31 at the half. Try as they might, UConn just couldn't climb back into the game. The experienced Ducks clamped their beaks and didn't let UConn any closer than 12. Oregon outscored UConn 44-14 in the paint and ran away with it 74-56. While Sabrina Ionescu didn't get her patented triple-double, she had a mighty Duck impact on a game that meant a whole lot to her.
Just being able to walk into this arena, and we all were starstruck. I mean, just looking at the walls and looking at the banners and the trophies. And so it's awesome, and obviously it's where we're trying to get our program and continuing to try and model after them. So it's huge for us to be able to come here and do what we did.
This game meant a lot for women's college basketball. Two premier teams facing off in the basketball capital of the world. But for Oregon head coach Kelly Graves, the win was extra special.
Well, it means a lot. Yeah, I mean, this is hallowed ground, kind of, so to speak. They've been so good for so long. So yeah, it means a great deal. This is one personally I'll remember for a long time. I mean, who doesn't look up to Gino?
The loss was UConn's worst ever here inside Gamble Pavilion and their first double-digit loss on this court since 1999. The Huskies will have the week to prepare for Memphis, which visits Gamble on Friday night, before the Huskies head out to South Carolina for an absolute doozy against the number 1 team in the nation a week from today. From Gamble Pavilion, I'm Noam, UCTV Sports. The UConn baseball team put together one of their most complete performances on Tuesday afternoon, beating New England rival Boston College 12-0. It took a while, but the Huskies eventually got their bats going in the 5th, with Chris Winkle unloading a 2-run homer off the scoreboard in right. Then, Kyler Fedko tacked on the insurance with a 3-run towering shot over the RZA Performance Center in deep left. And later, Winkle added to his brilliant day with a 3-run homer, another blast to right. He now has 3 homers in Elliott Ballpark this season.
Happy for him. He's such a good kid and works so hard. He leads wherever he is, whether he's on the bench, in the classroom, in the community, or on the diamond. He's always a leader. So I think everybody roots really hard for him, and it was good to see him get a game ball today.
That offense was more than enough as the pitching was solid all day long. A starting effort from Pat Gallagher was supplemented by solid appearances from the bullpen as the Huskies cruised to a win over the Eagles. The win will be a resume booster for the Hook C, a quality win over an ACC opponent with potential first-round picks in Cody Morissette and Sal Frelick. As for the Huskies, they'll return right here to Elliott Ballpark on Friday, continuing their extended homestand against UMass. From Elliott Ballpark, I'm Noam Watt, UCTV Sports. Fall is here, winter is coming, and that means one thing. UConn basketball season is rapidly approaching. Today, the men kicked off official practice in year 4 of the Dan Hurley era and year 2 back in the Big East. So, what does Hurley see as this team's biggest strength?
I think this is like a really deep team. I mean, you feel like there's 10 guys that are vying for, anything from potentially a starting role to, almost anywhere from, 6 through 10 off the bench.
Now, the players have been on campus for months, having grueling workouts up until this point, but today was the first actual official practice. Now, Adama Sanogo's sophomore season is ready to step up.
Can't wait for the season, We don't have we have a short time, so we gotta go get it every day. We gotta go get it every day.
He looks so good right now. I mean, he's been our best player. He's usually our best player, and I don't. He's going to see a lot of help. He's going to see a lot of double teams. He's got to work really, really hard on his ability to pass the ball out. But that's a man on a mission right there.
Now, other big man Isaiah Whaley returned back to Storrs for his 5th year with an added year of eligibility due to COVID. He sees this team's calling card in one area.
Toughness and defense, that's going to always be the UConn way. That's always been the UConn way since forever. It's always been toughness and defense, and that's going to be our identity.
The Huskies will take the floor for first night just behind this wall inside Gamble Pavilion on October 15th. As for now, I'm Noam Watt reporting from the Worth Family Practice Center, UCTV Sports. He leads the team with 54 straight games played, a steady figure at the guard position, ready to take a big leap in his junior year. Today on UConn men's basketball player breakdowns, we'll take a look at Jalen Gaffney. I'm Noam Watt, and today let's discuss the guard from Columbus, New Jersey, a former 4-star recruit who was in the same recruiting class as now NBA player James Bouknight. Gaffney is a true collegiate point guard. He facilitates the offense with a calming style of play. He can shoot the ball from deep, but is not ball dominant by any means. I really think Gaffney is ready to burst onto the scene this coming season. He's shown flashes of his ability to finish at the rim, but hasn't fully shown off his athleticism just yet. I'd like to see Gaffney attack the hoop more this season. He's a skilled finisher when he gets there, and he was an above-average free throw shooter at 82% last year, so the more he attacks the rim, the more chances he'll have at that charity stripe. One part of Gaffney's game that has always stood out to me is his ability to create shots in late clock situations. Now we're talking end of shot clock, end of half, time and time again, he's bailed out the offense with circus shots, crafty finishes right as that buzzer was ready to go off. This year, I really expect and hope for him to look for his offense more in early clock situations and have that be more of a focal point of his game. Last season, he averaged just 4.5 shot attempts per game. Really not a lot for a guard. This year, I'd expect that number to climb to 6 to 7 per game, including 2 to 3 three-point attempts. He's really a capable shooter from deep at 36% last season, and with more repetition, that number should go up. His best game as a sophomore came against Seton Hall when he dropped 20 points in just 25 minutes. He hit a pair of threes, but a sizable chunk of his points came from that free throw line where he shot 8 of 9. With James Bouknight gone to the NBA, there's plenty of room for Jalen Gaffney to step up and really play a major role this year. His 1.6 assist-to-turnover ratio is solid, and if he can continue to take care of the basketball and be that reliable presence on offense, he'll have plenty of room to shine this year. Next up on men's basketball player breakdowns, I'll be taking a look at a big guy who's coming back at full health from injury, a cook. The 16th ranked UConn field hockey team opened Big East play on Friday afternoon, hosting number 19, Old Dominion. The Huskies got on the board first, courtesy of a penalty shot goal by Claire Yondevert. It was the juniors' second goal of the season. Then UConn carried their momentum through halftime as McKenna Sergi whistled one past the Old Dominion goalie to pad UConn's lead. The pair of goals were more than enough for UConn goalie Cheyenne Sprecher, who stopped multiple chances en route to her second shutout of the season. Head coach Paul Caddy had high praise for the redshirt senior goalie.
She's been outstanding all season. I mean, she's made some elite saves. I mean, she's an All-American goalkeeper that hasn't been given the honor of being an All-American. I think that if she's not the best in the country, she's close to it. So she always gives you a chance to win a game, whether it's a a close game or whether it's just a normal game, she's always going to keep you in it. So we're very lucky to have her.
The win moves UConn to 3-4 overall and 1-0 in conference play.
I thought we ground hard. Once you get to the conference play, a lot of it's about heart and desire. And I think our team showed that today, and I think we were able to close out the game, even though they came at us hard in the last quarter. We showed some maturity, and I was very proud of them.
UConn returns to action on Sunday, hosting number 13 Harvard. From the George J. Sherman Family Sports Complex here at UConn, I'm Noam Watt, UCTV Sports.